nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good afternoon. Welcome to BCIT's The Crow. I'm Zach Clark, and here is your 2 p.m. news. BC Premier David Eby says a BC case is every parent's worst fear realized after a Nigerian man has been charged with sextortion in connection to the death of a 14-year-old boy. Eby also says social media companies have to be held accountable in situations where they fail to hold a safe environment for children on the internet. RCMP said the man pretended to be a teenage girl and convinced the boy to send intimate photos, then blackmailed him. An intergenerational arts and culture organization's participation in the Chinatown Lunar New Year Parade was rescinded. This comes after their participation was initially rejected, then accepted. Caitlin No reports.
The annual Chinatown Spring Festival Parade is Vancouver's largest Lunar New Year celebration. Melody Ma, one of the organizers of Chinatown Together, says she was surprised when she received a letter from the parade's committee kicking them out from formally participating. The reason being political activism having no place at the event.
And if you look at the banners are really aligned with the spirit of Lunar New Year. For example, our head banner is just our organization name, Chinatown Together. None of these banners are political activism at all.
The group's appeal has been met with silence from the parade's organizing committee. Caitlin O, BCIT's The Crow.
Peel Regional Police Force has charged 5 people and is investigating over 20 cases of alleged extortion targeting South Asian businesses. Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown is encouraging Canadians to reach out if they need help.
Residents who have felt helpless, this is why you come forward. Because if you come forward, police are able to have that investigation and they have success. They have the tools, they've got the capacity to find the people responsible. Obviously, people are making payments. People are falling victim. Otherwise, it wouldn't continue to be replicated in Peel and across Canada and the U.S.
Police say suspects usually demand payment with threats of violence, and in some cases, gunshots were fired at businesses. An Ontario judge has sentenced a former RCMP intelligence official to 14 years in prison after breaching Canada's secrets law. Ontario's Superior Court Justice Robert Moranger sentenced Cameron Ortiz, who had been found guilty in November.
He stands by his innocence. The fact that the jury couldn't hear a lot of his defense obviously still bothers him, especially in fact of being convicted. He's obviously disappointed by the lengthy sentence, but again, he appreciates and understands what Justice Moranger said.
Ortiz's lawyer, John Doody, says Ortiz is troubled by the conviction but optimistic about his appeal. Ortiz led the RCMP Operations Research Group. This group assembled classified info on cyber criminals, terror cells, and transnational criminal networks. Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he's against allowing transgender minors to use puberty blockers. The Conservative leader told reporters he thinks parents have the rights to raise their children as they choose, accusing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of attacking parents.
I think we should protect the rights of parents to make their own decisions.
What does it mean?
With regards to their children. And I believe that adults should have the freedom to make any decision they want about their bodies.
The Prime Minister accused Alberta Premier Danielle Smith of pushing anti-LGBTQ plans to ban puberty blockers and hormone therapy for kids aged 15 and younger who haven't already began treatments. Albertan students walked out of classes for a half hour this morning to protest the Albertan government's planned policies around transgender youth. Looking into environmental news, environmental groups say a toxic chemical in tires is killing the salmon population. Our reporter Sean Park has more information on how it is impacting them.
6-PPD is a chemical that is often used to make tires last longer. When this is exposed to the ozone in the air, it turns into a toxic substance that is deadly to coho salmons. Experts say that the substance could be carried away when it rains to salmon habitats and is already detected in BC waterways. Environmental groups are urging the federal government to take action. They say the US and the European Union recognize the danger and are already working towards regulating it. Sean Park, BCIT's The Crow.
And I'm pleased to say we have Sean Park in the studio with us. So Sean, how does this 6-PPD chemical get into salmon habitats?
Well, Zach,
These chemical substances are already treated when tires are manufactured, and once tires are driven on the road, these naturally pile up over time. And once it starts raining, these chemicals gets carried away to urban rivers and streams where it contaminates salmon habitats.
And what is the BC government doing to help restore the salmon population?
Well, they have this BC Salmon Restoration and Innovation Fund that provides up to $142.85 million over 5 years to support the protection and restoration of salmon population. Most of the money, which is around $71 million, is going to making the salmon habitat healthy.
Thank you for joining us, Sean. Continuing with our marine theme, a loggerhead sea turtle has been rescued after suffering hypothermia in Pedder Bay. The Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society says the reptile, nicknamed Moira, had a core temperature of only 8.4 degrees Celsius when local marine biologist Anna Hall first found the creature. It is only the second time in recent memory a loggerhead turtle has been seen in British Columbian waters. The society will nurse the animal back to health before transporting it to its natural habitat for release. In international news, former President Donald Trump's attempt to run for president a second time is in the hands of the U.S. Supreme Court. On Thursday, the justices will hear arguments in Trump's appeal of the Colorado Supreme Court ruling that he's not eligible to run for president because he violated the 14th Amendment, which prevents those who engage in insurrection from holding office. Rick Hall says it's an interesting case, as the amendment in question dates back to the Civil War.
It's fascinating because it kind of puts ideologically the justices in strange positions, that they're not normally in. So, and then throw in the politics, and that just makes it, a lot more interesting.
And a sheriff sniper has killed a 36-year-old man in Florida after a bank robbery went wrong and the man took a woman hostage. The Bank of America branch in Fort Myers saw 2 hostages taken by the would-be robber, and after negotiators could not de-escalate the situation, a sniper was ruled to be the most effective method of saving the hostages. None of the hostages sustained any injuries. 2 separate political offices in southwestern Pakistan were bombed on Wednesday. Officials have confirmed at least 30 deaths and more than 24 wounded. The attacks came the day before the country was set to elect a new parliament. The bombings raise concern for the election, where many voters are already dissuaded by political feuds and economic crisis. Violence ahead of elections is common in Pakistan, where they have struggled to rein in militant groups. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the bombing. And now, looking for weather. The temperature now is 9 degrees, a high of 10 with a low of 4. And looking towards the rest of the week, it'll be cloudy with mild temperatures until the weekends bring us some light showers. Looking into the week after that, the showers are set to become a little bit heavier as we get some usual Vancouver rain come Monday, expected to be almost 40 millimeters in the coming 5 days. Well, that will take us now to our break, where we will be back with sports after that. Looking like we're still on air, we'll say Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected calls for a ceasefire and vows to fight until absolute victory. Netanyahu made the comments on Wednesday shortly after a meeting with the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who had been traveling the region in hopes of securing a ceasefire agreement. Netanyahu stated the operation would last months, not years, and added that Israel is the only power capable of guaranteeing security for Gaza in the long term. And now we shall take a break shortly here as we get ready to bring you the rest of the sports on BCIT's The Crow. And there is our sports intro.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening
Day morning brought another twist in the tale of SFU athletics as the sports marketing and communications department was cut. Jacob Lazar worked as the sports communications manager for almost 3 years and felt like the changes had been coming for a while.
Basically dating back to the summer, the university was looking at us saying, how can we go without a marketing and communications department? You know, they looked at us as, oh, that's where we can save money.
Lazar also emphasized the harm that cutting the department will cause to student athletes at SFU.
This is going to have a clear, direct, and immediate negative impact on student athletes. Like, if they really, truly believe that these positions could be replaced, at least wait till the season's over and not put the athletes through this.
Lazar says the support they've received from SFU following the cuts has been the bare minimum. Isaac Newson, BCIT's The Crow.
And we are joined by our reporter Isaac Newson now. So Isaac, what happens regarding broadcasting, social media, and promotions for the athletics department?
So for the rest of the year, they'll go without all of the above, like Lazar said. With all these things missing for the remainder of the year, it'll definitely have a negative impact on the athletes, no doubt.
And is there a plan in place to replace or find other solutions to the problem?
Well, right now there's no plan. The only thing SFU has to avoid is realizing they made a mistake and hiring new people for the jobs. That could end in legal trouble for the school.
Thank you so much, Isaac. In other Canadian sporting news, Canadian marathoners Melindy Elmore and Cam Levins have earned 2024 Olympic qualifications to represent Canada in Paris this summer. It will be the third Olympic appearance for both athletes. Elmore made her Olympic debut in 2004 and retired in 2014 before announcing her comeback in 2019. She finished 9th at the 2020 Tokyo Games, Canada's second best result ever in the women's marathon. While Levins made his Olympic debut in 2012 and started marathoning in 2018, where he broke a national record at the Toronto Waterfront Marathon. Lots to talk about in the NHL as Canucks forward Elias Lindholm made an impressive debut, scoring 2 goals to help the Canucks secure a 3-2 win over Carolina last night. The Canucks next play the Boston Bruins, puck drop at 4 p.m. tomorrow. The Edmonton Oilers were stopped just 1 game before they made history as the Las Vegas Golden Knights beat them to halt a 16-game winning streak, 1 game short of the all-time record. And the recently traded ex-Canuck Andrei Kuzmenko made his first appearance as a Calgary Flame, and his debut was also a success, scoring his first goal in the orange and white to help Calgary beat Boston 4-1. The Super Bowl is almost upon us. Kansas City is the underdog for once, a feeling they have not experienced often since their star quarterback Patrick Mahomes joined the team 6 years ago. But they were also the underdog in their last 2 games, beating the higher-ranked Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens. On Sunday, they look to become the 6th team since 2000 to win the Super Bowl as the lower-rated team in all 3 games. That was your 2 o'clock news. I'm Zach Clark.
On 1680.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Teresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.